to today's class, Yoga for Kings, Divine Masculine Healing. This class is going to help us get in touch with our core, which is the center of our solar plexus, our center of action, motivation, confidence, boldness, courageousness. Now, traditionally, the sun is seen as a masculine energy, with the moon being seen as a feminine energy. So that is why I'm really having us hoping to cue you guys to really connect with your core and your center of strength. Now, that being said, everyone has divine masculine and feminine energies. Everyone, regardless of what parts you do or don't have, you have them. And it is important for us to find balance. The divine feminine has been repressed for millennia, which is why I do make it an important part of my yoga practice and teaching others to really connect with the divine feminine. But that is not to say that it is divine masculine energy's fault that the feminine has been suppressed, because the masculine cannot survive without the feminine. It's like yin and yang. You need both of them. But today we're going to be paying special attention to the divine masculine energy. And although this is a video that is a yoga class that is seeking to really help male identified people, especially male identified people of color, everyone is going to hopefully find some benefit from it, again, regardless of what parts you do or don't have. But that being said, I want to start this class, and I start all of my classes by saying you have explicit permission to disobey me. Now, what I mean by that is if I cue a pose that doesn't feel good in your body, that you don't like, or maybe simply you just want to do something else, well, then you need to follow your intuition, which comes from the divine feminine. You need to follow your body's intuition, your soul's intuition. If it says, I don't like this pose, or I want to do another pose, then do that, right? I am just a facilitator. I'm just a teacher. You don't have to follow me, because honestly, the person who knows you the best is you. So you have explicit permission to disobey me and do what feels good in your body. Now, to help you feel good in your body, I do strongly suggest using props in any yoga class, not just this one. And the props I'm going to be using today are a kneeling pad. I use this for when I am doing tabletop or cat-cow. It's an extra cushion for my knees. I like to protect my knees. They're very important to our body. Another prop I'll be using is this blanket. This I will be using for a wrist stretch that I'll be cueing. But you could also use this as like a prop to take your hips up off of the ground, similar to like a yoga block. But of course, even if I'm not using other props that you feel, again, would be beneficial for your practice, then by all means, do what feels good in your body. You may also find it beneficial, since we are building up a lot of heat, we're going to be moving around a lot. You might also find it beneficial to have a water bottle. On that note, I would love to invite everyone to join me in easy pose, meditative pose, crisscross applesauce, as we begin today's class with 10 grounding breaths. I'll also like to offer a mudra, or a meditative hand gesture, that you may also find beneficial for your grounding breaths. So the meditative hand gesture I'll be sharing with you guys today is called Akash Mudra. And it's a pretty simple one to do. You know, we're not doing like Naruto chakra signs. To achieve Akash, we'll simply bring the backs of the hands to the knees, and we'll connect the thumb and the middle finger. The other fingers can splay out, and there's still energy in the other fingers. Even though we're not connecting the other ones, they're not just like there. There's active energy in your entire body, the fingertips, the toes, the head, the shoulders, all of that. So I'll inhale and roll up through my spine, and actually I will come up onto my blanket just to prop up my hips a little bit more. You might find that by sitting on a block or a blanket that you're able to extend through your spine. So I'll inhale through the nostrils, exhale through the nostrils. Go ahead and do 9 more breaths at your own pace.
All right, once you have finished your deep breaths for grounding, I'd like you to join me, if you'd like to, on all fours for some cat-cow. I'll begin cat-cow by lining my knees underneath my hip points, my hands underneath my shoulders. If you find that your chest area is tight, you might find it beneficial to open up the arms. So instead of being right underneath the shoulders, maybe you bring them out just a little bit more. You may also find it beneficial to use a blanket or such underneath the knees. I'll inhale, arch the back, lift up the head and chest. Exhale, round the lower back, lifting up and out of the limbs. Inhale, arching the back, lifting up through the chest and the head. Exhale, rounding it out like you're a cat on Halloween. I go ahead and do about 4 or 5 more rounds, just however many you'd like, really warming up the spine and the body so that we can be better prepared for the rest of the class. So now that I feel that I have done enough cat-cows in my body, I'd like to invite you to join me in doing a wrist stretch. Here is where I will be taking the blanket, and I'll be using this as an extra prop so that my wrists have a little bit of extra cushion. So again, in tabletop, instead of having the hands or fists reaching forward, I'm actually going to turn my hands so that my fingers are facing me, and I'll have my wrist on top of the blanket again as an extra cushion. So very nice and gently, I'm going to begin to inhale, and then on the exhale, I'm actually going to lean back. It doesn't have to be a very big lean back. You might find that just a little bit is a lot for your wrists. So I'm just going to do a couple here, inhaling as I come up, exhaling, leaning back. Inhale up, exhale, lean back. Inhale up, exhale, lean back. Inhale up, exhale, lean back. Inhale up, and then you can go ahead and put the blanket on the side. Nice and easy, nothing to it. From tabletop, I'll bring one leg up, and then another one, and here we are in forward fold. And you can chill here for a little bit if you'd like. Breathing deeply wherever you are. Maybe you're like me and you're rubbing bugs and flicking them off of you. Whenever you're ready, we'll tuck in the chin. Inhale, roll up nice and slow, vertebra by vertebra until we come into mountain pose. Taking a couple breaths here as we lengthen through the spine and feel a grounding connection to the earth. If you like, you can come into prayer pose. When you're ready, you can inhale, lengthen through the spine, tuck in that lower belly, and begin to do a baby back bend, starting with the shoulders, and perhaps you can allow your head to rest back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, extending through the spine. Nice gentle bend in the knees. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the palms. Exhale, bring the feet back, downward facing dog. Now from here, you can pedal it out, or you can find stillness here. We'll be here for about 3 breaths. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, begin to straighten out into a plank. We'll be doing chaturanga. Try to come as parallel to the floor as you can. Keeping the elbows tucked in, we'll come on down to the ground. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back, lengthen through the spine, and then we'll begin to lift up into upward facing dog. Take a breath here, and then come back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look up, and you can step, hop, jump, whatever you'd like to come back up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Could take another couple deep breaths here, feeling how your body feels so far. And then we'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up, nice and slow, back into mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Exhale, baby back bend, prayer pose hand, optional. Extending through our spine. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bring it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the palms. Exhale, step the feet back, downward facing dog. Again, you can choose stillness or pedal it out. If you'd like, you can also use blocks just to bring the ground up to you a little bit more. You might find it helps you in your downward dog. Inhale, look up. Exhale, plank, trying to become as parallel as we can to the ground. Whenever you're ready, come down as gently as you can. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, upward facing dog, lengthening through the spine. Maybe you let your head rest back. Inhale, and then exhale back into downward facing dog. And again, meet your way up or grit your way up to the top of the mat. Here, let's take a couple of breaths. If you'd like, you can again find stillness, or maybe you do ragdoll. Maybe you clasp opposite elbows and just gently come from side to side. Wherever you find yourself, let your breath anchor you. When you're ready, inhale, tuck in the chin, roll it up from root to rise, back into mountain pose. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, tuck in the chin. Exhale, baby back bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the palms or fists. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, stillness or movement, your choice. Whatever you choose to do, breathe deeply. Inhale, look up. Exhale, chaturanga. First coming into plank, keeping the elbows in towards the sides. And whenever you're ready, as gently as you can, lower down to the ground. Inhale, tucking in the chin, lifting up into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up, step up to the front, forward fold. Taking a couple deep breaths here, filling up your lungs and diaphragm. And when you're ready, inhale, roll up, root to rise. Awesome. Inhale. Maybe flick off a couple bugs off of you. Exhale, roll the shoulders up and back. So here in our mountain pose, let's take a couple of deep breaths again. Really feeling that grounding energy from the floor as we lift up. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, baby, back bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lifting the arms up and coming into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the fist or hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, lifting up through the spine so we're not collapsing into our hands or joints. You can pedal it out or find stillness. Inhale, look up. Exhale, plank pose. Taking a couple deep breaths here, really feeling your core light up. Exhale, gently lower to the ground. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, pressing the hips into the ground. And then come on up, upward facing dog. Maybe you're able to come up off of the floor this time. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up and find your way up to the front. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a couple deep breaths here. And whenever you're ready, you can come on up. But if you find peace here, just chill here, letting your lower back find some relaxation. Wherever you find yourself, try as best as you can to breathe deeply. And then whenever you're ready, inhale and slowly come on up, root to rise. Finding your way back into mountain pose, feeling your strength as you lift up through the spine and ground yourself with your connection to the earth. Inhale, roll up the shoulders if you need to. And then if you'd like, you can again take prayer pose. Exhale, begin to take your baby back bend. Maybe you're able to let the head relax. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lift the hands up and come into forward fold. This is our last sun salutations flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthening through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the palms or fists. Exhale, step the feet back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out, find stillness, whatever moves you. Since this is our last downward dog, maybe you experiment. Throw in a one-legged dog, whatever feels good for you today. Breathe through it. Inhale, look up. Exhale, plank pose. Try to challenge yourself. Really lift up through your body. Breathing deeply into our core. Thanking our body for doing all these planks. And whenever you're ready, gently come down to the ground. Lengthening through the spine, rolling the shoulders up and back. Inhale, begin to lift up the chest and the belly, upward facing dog. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Whenever you're ready, come up onto the toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Taking a breath or two here, and when you're ready, inhale and look up. Exhale, come up to the front, forward fold. Again, you could take a couple breaths here. Find stillness. Maybe you clasp opposite elbows. Maybe you take ragdoll pose, whatever feels good for you today. I'll be rolling from side to side, breathing deeply through my spine and my shoulders. And whenever you're ready, inhale, tuck in the chin, and gently roll up, root to rise. Back to mountain pose. Taking a couple deep breaths here, really lengthening through the spine. The front body lifts up, the back body grounds. Breathing through the nostrils and exhaling through the nostrils as well. If you like, you can tuck in that lower back. Maybe you find that you're able to lift and lengthen through your spine a little bit more. We're going to be here for a couple more breaths here, really just enjoying this beautiful mountain pose. You have done so much so far in this class, so really give yourself thanks for that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lift up the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Here, I'm going to come into a lunge, bringing one foot back. Now here we're going to do a nifty little trick. We're going to switch our feet back and forth. So instead of the right foot being back, I'm going to switch it to being up front and the left foot being in the back. So go ahead and inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. And we'll do one more. So inhale, exhale, switch. Beautiful. So nice and easy, we can bring the knees down to the ground. I'd like to invite you all to join me in a child's pose, any variation. So you can have the knees open or closed, you can have the arms to the back, to your side, or if you'd like, you can follow in my footsteps. I'm going to keep my hands forward, allowing my shoulders to find just a little bit of comfort and ease. I have tight shoulders, so I try to give a little bit of space between my shoulders and ears. And I'm actually going to tent up my hands. So I'll have my fingers, my hand up on the fingertips. And then really I'll have an outward rotation of the shoulders. Wherever you find your child's pose, take about 5 deep breaths here, really thanking and giving lots of breath and love to your lower back. Whenever you're ready, inhale and gently roll up through the spine. So from here, I'm just going to bring my legs out to the side and slowly transition onto my back for figure 4. Nice and gently coming all the way down. I have my knees bent, and I'm going to press into my elbows and really just scooch the shoulders underneath my chest. I find that helps open up my chest. So we can choose either leg. I'm going to first start off with my right leg. And I'm going to bring the right leg and cross it over the left leg. I have my foot flexed. There's lots of energy in my feet. And you'll find that you kind of come into a pose that looks like a figure 4. Now, if this feels good, you can stay here. Or you can lift up the left leg, keeping the calf parallel to the sky. And again, you can stay here if it feels good. Or we can bring the hands clasped together behind the left leg. Bringing the knee closer to the chest if that feels good. We can use the right elbow to prop open the right hip. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here, still staying active in the feet, breathing deeply. We'll take about 5 more breath rounds here. And when you're ready, gently bring the left foot back down to the ground, or right, depending on which you did. Uncross the leg from the knee and bring it down to the ground. Taking a breath or two here. Taking any adjustments you need. And whenever you're ready, we'll do the same on the other side. So I just did the right side. So now I'm going to prepare to do the left side. Taking the left leg and crossing it over the right knee. I'll open up through the left hip. Checking in with my hips. Are they parallel? Keeping the foot flexed. And if I'd like, I can go ahead and lift up the right leg, keeping the right calf parallel to the sky. Lots of active energy in both feet. Again, we can stay here, or if we'd like, we can bring the hands behind the right thigh, bringing the knees closer to the chest. And if we'd like, we can also use the elbow to prop open the bent knee. Still lengthening through the spine, we'll take about 5 or so deep breaths here. Notice, is this side any different than the other side? And whenever you're ready, gently bring the foot back to the ground, uncross the leg, and bring the other foot back to the ground. I'll bring my feet about yoga mat distance apart. And from here, I'm going to windshield wiper the feet. My knees will come down to one side and then back to center. I'll move my feet down a little bit more and then bring the knees down to the other side. So slowly moving our way down, lengthening the legs until finally we find ourselves in corpse pose. In my body, I find that when I take slow movements and breathe deeply, it feels the best. So for 5 minutes of silent meditation, you can choose to stay in corpse pose, or you can find any other pose that feels good. I'm going to slowly make my way to crisscross applesauce. So I'll come onto one side and gently roll up. Now for our 5 minutes of silent meditation, if any thoughts arise, just allow them to flow through you. Remember, we are not our thoughts. Try not to become attached to them. Try not to have an emotional response. If you can, try to be the observer of your thoughts, not the haver. I will gently bring us back into this space when the 5 minutes are over. Your 5 minutes of silent meditation begins now. Your 5 minutes of silent meditation has now ended. Gently bring yourself back into this space. Perhaps we wiggle the toes, and then the fingers, and then maybe you bat your eyelashes open. Gently transition up and out of whatever meditative position you were in.
Thank you so much for joining me today on the Yoga for Kings class. I hope you were able to connect with your strength, your confidence, your core, and know that wherever you go, you are royalty. It is your birthright to lead your most authentic life, even if others don't agree. You have to do what makes you feel good. And understand that we all have different walks of life that we must do. So that being said, peace, love, and light. Namaste.